Welcome to the Nothing Sacred podcast.
I'm gonna write a fucking book of balls.
Fuck. All right. Welcome to Nothing Sacred, episode 24. I am Captain Asshole right now, but I'll probably become the hater here shortly. I'm here with Budman, the tech man, motherfuckers. So, let me just sum up what's going to happen here. We're going to talk some Corona, obviously. We're going to talk about a documentary. We're going to talk about Trump and a bunch of other shit here. We're also going to have that history.
In a week.
5 fun facts about Yoda. Breaking Bad is the quiz. We're also going to talk Silver Surfer versus Superman later on. I'm going to have, obviously, some more questions for Budman as we go along with what is the answer and what am I thinking and all of that shit. Now that that's out of the way, let's get to it. So, motherfuckers, it has been a week, has it not? So let's start out with the coronavirus.
Are you buying toilet paper in bulk? Do you think you have corona? Do you go to the doctors frequently to get checked out for corona? Corona. Corona talk. Corona.
I have been doing a lot of research this week on the coronavirus. First thing I'm going to say about this coronavirus, first off, the media should stick to the facts and not glorify the situation and create hysteria and stupidity. People.
Oh, it has gotten out of hand.
This is what it is. Okay? This is a very bad case of influenza. It's a super flu in essence. Now, is it a world killer? Hell no. Is it a world beater? Hell yes. I'll get to the difference. First off, 80% of the people around the globe that have died of the coronavirus so far have been the ages of 70 plus, and they have had a history of pulmonary or immune system problems. 2%, not even quite 2%, of the victims that have died have been children. Again, these are children that were born with deficiencies and things like that. The general public, here's the deal, okay? The world is not going to stop spinning. The country is not going to shut down, regardless of popular belief in some circles, okay? You can have the coronavirus, you can carry this virus for up to 2 weeks and not even get any symptoms. Now, I'm not saying this is not a serious matter, people are dying. Is this something to get hysterical about? Hell no. Okay, you have to remember, things are shutting down, things are slowing down, and I'm going to get to the sport part of it in a minute. So, basically what I'm doing here right now is I'm doing in the news, on the net, and hockey talk all at the same time. So we're just going to cover that right now. But anyways, we're doing obviously the in the news part here first. But anyways, as I was saying, the average person, okay, if you get sick, yes, it's bad. Okay, you don't want to get sick. But there are ways to help prevent that. Obviously, the first thing, stay away from big crowds because this virus is an airborne virus.
People
so probably
coughing, shit like that.
Yes, so probably big crowds aren't a good thing. 2, make sure you're constantly keeping your hands clean, keep them away from your face, and make sure that you keep wiping off counters and stuff at home just as a precautionary measure. I mean, you got to be safe, But other than that, really, people, this can't affect your everyday life. It's going to, but I mean...
Oh, it's already affected
as much as possible,
though.
As much as possible, what I'm saying is you have to keep it together and life will go on one way or another. Look it, I understand. It's tough, but you know what? When it comes right down to it, if it means the health and safety of millions of Canadians, then you know what? Maybe things need to slow down. This is why, okay, the NHL. Gary Bettman was on today on Hockey Central at noon on Sportsnet. Ultimately, two players in the NBA on the same team were positively diagnosed with corona. Now, NHL teams and NBA teams share the same arenas, same locker rooms. So, in the best interest of the league and the players in it, the NHL decided that, they should do the same thing. This makes sense. This is not because it's like, oh my God, it's the zombie apocalypse. It's nothing like that. It's just a precautionary measure so, you can stop the spreading. Makes sense. I don't like it as a hockey fan. Pisses me off because Philadelphia is in a legitimate position right now to take it all, and there might not be a season now in the playoffs, but we'll see.
I put it as this: it's so that there might be 1,000 people that show up to that, or like billion people that show up to that. If one person has it within that crowd, there's potentially hundreds of people taking that home.
Absolutely. So you understand that, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense, okay? That makes sense that things all over the world, big sporting events, concerts, shit like that are being postponed or canceled or whatever. Again, it does not mean this is a zombie fucking apocalypse and we're all going to die. And here's another thing, okay? The world does not have a shortage on toilet paper, motherfuckers.
Oh, no.
Now, here's my take on that, okay? It's smart. I would, buy basic supplies extra of, right? Because you don't know if you're going to have to end up self-quarantining yourself. This thing can attack anybody, right? Like, you don't know. I get that.
Yeah.
But, my God, there are people out there that are preparing for Armageddon, literally. This is not a world killer. This is what I'm getting at. This is a world beater, okay? Because the world is going to slow down, and yes, it's going to affect people. Obviously, it's going to affect all of us.
Going down, though.
To one degree or another, it's going to affect all of us, And obviously, it doesn't care who it affects. Look at Prime Minister Trudeau's wife, Tom Hanks and his wife. It's obviously not picky, the coronavirus. So, it is what it is, okay?
The worst part about it is fucking people that'll stroll through Facebook and then they'll see these stories and they won't actually check up on it, but then they'll go out and they'll talk about it like it's real news.
Look it, as I said, everybody knows Dr. Oz, right? Dr. Oz, pretty credible guy. And I watched one thing on YouTube, and he was basically saying, okay, this is like any other flu bug. Only difference is, right, that the way it attacks people. And it does attack people different, obviously, because, as I said, the majority of people that are dying are over the age of 70 and they have health issues. So, obviously, if anything, you want to stay out of contact with grandma and grandpa and people like that. Another thing.
Yes, and old people should avoid transit, shit like that.
Right. Use common sense. Obviously, you should not go to the mall if there's going to be a lot of people there. Obviously, be careful when you're on public transit. Okay? The other thing Dr. Oz said is what I'm saying. Wash your hands. Try not to make contact with your face. Blah, blah, blah.
Like, I was hearing stories of people, when they went to go restock their shelves at Walmart, they come out of the back with the cart, and people literally fucking just, they don't even make it to the shelf. People just start grabbing the fucking toilet paper.
Yeah, like it's the apocalypse, like the end is coming, and it's not like that, people.
I was told one of them bolted out the exit door, and everybody just looked at each other when all the alarms went off, like, should we do the same?
There was a doctor I watched online in Toronto, or is a doctor, I should say, and he was saying now China is actually starting to get it under control. Now, obviously, they had to do a big sanitation program, and I mean, they spent, probably $1 billion or more, but they're getting it under control.
Yeah.
Right? So now this doctor was saying that they're getting information now from, China, right, on things to do, not to do with this virus, blah, blah, blah. But my point is that there are the medical community, the CDC, all these people are working on it. But this doctor said even if there isn't a vaccine, it's still an influenza bug. Basically meaning at the end of the day, eventually it's either going to burn itself out, it could even be very well seasonal, or people just get immune to it eventually. So what I'm saying is this is not a time to get hysterical and go off your rocker. Be careful. Obviously, here at Nothing Sacred, we don't want to get sick. We don't want to see anybody get sick. And there have been, of this recording, 2 cases, confirmed cases right now in Hamilton. That's it. Okay? I know some people might be going, well, Captain Asshole, it only takes one to start it. But again, if you're listening to me, from what I've learned about it, and you go online and you listen to professional medical doctors, not fucking Fox News, like actually, they're out there, they're all volunteering their time, doctors all around the world, to make videos and post online. Find them, they're out there, and listen to what these people have to say, and we'll all be fine. And anyways, just to kind of conclude on what we're talking about here, again, geography and population says anyways that it's not going to be the terrorizing outbreak here that it would be in, say, the States or China, just because, again, we're spread out fairly well, and there isn't a whole ton of us. So, you have to think of it. Please, don't go, like you can stalk ahead, but don't, please. It's not the apocalypse, is what I'm saying. In Italy right now, as of this recording, they're getting really bad. Probably the worst right now than any other.
Yeah, they're worse than China now.
Person in the world. Yeah, people in the world. And you know what? Even then, they've cut off their borders, obviously, to the outside world, but their hospitals are still open. Their fucking grocery stores are still open. They're essential shit. They're fucking drugstores. They're, limited convenience stores. Things like that are still operational. It would be worst case scenario the same thing here. It's not going to be like some fucking Hollywood bullshit movie where all of a sudden the army's going to come in, everybody's going to get quarantined, and fucking, people are going to eventually start mutating or anything. Like, come on. All I'm saying, motherfuckers, is let's all try to keep it real, and let's not add to the hysteria of the moment, shall we? It will pass. And I understand that children, getting the children out of the schools and stuff, but you have to understand, children under the age of 19 really aren't getting this. So it's not really for the children. It's more or less to protect the teachers and things like that. And that is the other thing I was going to get to. The one thing doctors do not know is they may not get it, but do they carry it, right? But again, it's precautionary things. Fucking Trump today, as of this recording, we're going to get into Trump more as we go along, but fucking Trump,
and the great
American, he called a fucking emergency fucking status down there, so now everybody's under fucking, they're calling under high alert, like, stay in your houses, fucking blah, 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 blah. Whatever. They got to do whatever they got to do. They got a lot more people than we do. Again, I highly doubt it will even come to that in this country. So let's just all be smart. And one more thing. Please, 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 please. If you have a cough or a sniffle or an ass ache or whatever, please do not run to the hospital for every little fucking sniffle or cough. And I say that...
You're more likely to get it just going to the hospital.
No, that's not even what I'm getting at, Budman. Because...
You're going to overflow the hospital.
Because, exactly. Then you're going to take up space for people that may actually have the virus and need the help. Or just people like that are there for other shit that need the help. There's only so many doctors. I'm not saying don't be cautious, but before you go running to the doctor because you think you have coronavirus, remember, For most people, it starts with the throat. It feels like you're getting strep throat, and then it's hard to breathe because it attacks your pulmonary system. Okay, if you're coughing or sneezing or, anything like that, you probably just got a normal cold. Or let's not forget, it's perfect timing for Corona too to add to the hysteria and the confusion, because let's not forget, people, we're about to come into allergy season as well.
Yeah, and strep.
All I'm saying is, please, let's keep, the hospitals clear enough. They're going to be full enough, for people that really need the help. So, and that's a personal plea from me, like Captain Asshole. Like, we need to all do our part, I guess, is what I'm saying. But this is not the end of the world. It's not. That's all I got to say about the coronavirus right now, unless you got something else to add, good sir.
I just don't know how we as a society have pumped this thing up to be such a...
Well, the media certainly does not help.
Well,
they glorify everything. And then social media, as you say, that's another thing.
10 times worse, because it literally launches out these fake fucking newsletters that dumb fucking people are like, oh, this must be true, I saw it on the internet. And then they go out and they're like, oh, this just happened, and this just happened, and yeah. It's like, where'd you read this? Oh, Facebook. Well, then you're fucking dumb.
That's what I'm saying.
Did you check your facts? No. Well...
Go online. There are lots of credible doctors around the world right now putting out videos.
The Daily Mail.
Like, listen to these people.
Garbage. That site is garbage. It's not real news. Unless it's like global news, fucking CBC,
CNN. It doesn't really matter, though. I'm saying you don't even need to do that. There are doctors right now, if you look online, all over the place that are giving their own time, putting out 10-minute videos online telling people exactly what they know about the coronavirus and how to deal with it. What I'm saying is, these are the people you want to listen to, not fucking, like fucking Fox News and shit.
The pros.
Yeah, the people that know, as they say. And let's not forget either, they're learning more about this every day, the doctors. It's not like anybody's sitting on their thumbs here. Like they're the medical community from around the world, they're working on it. So we just got to be patient and hang in there, motherfuckers. Hang in there. That's what I'm saying. I think I covered everything there pretty nicely.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go from that and kind of continue this conversation just a wee bit into hockey talk before we get into On the Net, where that's a whole nother subject. So, the NHL, obviously, we knew it was all coming, right? I mean, as soon as I heard the news about, the NBA incident, I knew, the NHL season is being put on hold. Now, from a fan perspective, like I say, it pains me because my team, the first time in a long time, are legitimate contenders. But what do you do? Again, though, I get it, man. I get it. That's hockey, that's sport, this is life.
That's life.
Right, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. But here's the thing I wanted to talk about. The NHL sent a memo out to its players today, actually, which is Friday, it was this recording. Friday the 13th, I might add. Outlining a rough plan for the coming days amid the postponed season, right? So, basically what they want players to do is they will continue to receive their paychecks as scheduled, which is fair. It's not their fault. It's not like a lockout, So, which is pretty cool, really. And now the league also, right? A lot of the teams in the league now as well, they're putting in money to pay for their staff, to pay for people that work at the arena, so they don't lose a wage. Which I think, all I'm saying is, again, it shows how classy the NHL is, really, overall. And we can talk about Gary Bettman all we want, but at the end of the day, you know what? That's pretty cool. And, that shows that they actually care, right? How is this going to affect the salary cap? I'm sure the longer this goes on, obviously, it's going to affect the salary cap a little bit. I'm more concerned because the players have agreed that they're willing to go into July if they have to get this thing done because they're so close to the end of the season, right?
Oh yeah.
I can respect that, but here's the problem. The draft is in June. Free agency is July 1st. So my question is, as we go on here, is the league going to push that back too? Or are they going to proceed? But if they're going to proceed, you can't really do free agency while the playoffs are on. So I'm assuming, say if they have to play till the last week of July, hypothetically speaking, I would assume that, by August 1st or by the end of the first week of August, they would do free agency then. As far as the draft, I suppose
What if
they could still do the draft on June
Stanley Cup
24th
tomorrow?
or whatever. What?
What if they're just like playoffs start tomorrow?
Well, here's another question, right? That's been going around, and I don't know. There's different ways they could go with this. The NHL, depending on how long it goes, they could just cut the season off here, and then take as an example. Let me get the current standings up here first for a second. So as an example, okay, your wild card teams, Carolina has 81 points as stands. The Blue Jackets have 81. The Islanders have 80. The Rangers have 79. The Panthers have 78. Okay, what you can do to make it fair to those teams that are at least in the 78 to 81 point range, same with the West, which would be, as of right now, Winnipeg and the Canucks. So you would throw Nashville, Minnesota, and I say Arizona in the mix, maybe Chicago, okay? And you let them all face each other in a one-game deal to determine who gets those wild card spots, while everyone else stays in their positions, right? Like the top three teams in each division. And then from there, you go with your normal playoff format and maybe shorten down the first round to a best 2 out of 3 just to save time, obviously, for, the extra games and shit, right? Or it wouldn't be very fair, I suppose, but technically they could just do, this is it. Sorry you didn't make it. Cut your losses and just have it as it stands and, do their thing. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens, for sure. But I get it, though, man. Like, they had to close it. They had to shut it down. I get it. What?
Do you think they're going to be playing in the summer?
I do. I think what's going to happen, this is what I think is going to happen. I could be wrong, but I think what's going to happen is it's going to be almost till the end of April, beginning of May when they get the green light. So when that happens, they're going to have to make a decision. Okay, do we go? Because they're going to have a short training camp, like even a 4-day thing, so players can get back on the ice in the groove, right? Which is fair, too. And then do we play out the next 3 weeks as the season was, right, to get to an end and get to the normal playoff route? But that would probably take us to almost the end of July. So I'm assuming they'll probably most likely figure out some way to do a small little wild card tournament, which they could do in one night, different venues.
Oh, yeah.
And then, do the normal playoff format. And that would take them probably till just after the 1st of July. So I could see that happening. But the players are pretty animate.
Depending on how tight they pack those games in.
Right. Like, the players are pretty animate, though, that they want this to happen. And if they've already stated if it takes till pretty much almost the end of July to do this, to award a Stanley Cup, well, so be it. So
well, you got to think, for them, it's now like they've already gone this far.
Well, yeah, and like as an example, for a team like mine, where they're in and they're firmly a contender, if they don't get to play out some kind of playoffs, you know how that's going to suck real bad. It's just as bad as being one of those teams on the cusp. That's horrible because then that's all been for nothing, really, other than for personal points. Like, I would suck ass. And I don't think the players would be very satisfied with that either, obviously.
I don't think the fans either. It just wouldn't be.
And I don't
way to
think
end it.
anybody wants to see them play in empty arenas. I don't think the players do. I don't think the league does. I don't think the owners do. I
Well, they
certainly know the fans don't.
They don't make any money if the fucking stands are empty.
Right. I mean, if you're doing that at that point, you're obviously doing it for the league and your players. You're not really, I mean, fans would have to watch it at home, right? I guess it's still hockey, but yeah, it's a tough call, man. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, but I just wanted to say that I thought it was pretty classy that they're still going to play their players, and the teams, the owners are going to, and players are going to pitch in money to help fucking everybody on the staff at these arenas and on their teams, so people still get paid. So that's, I don't know if the NBA or anybody else is doing that, but I'm saying from an NHL perspective in a sport that I love, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty fucking class.
I've also heard it's like, so when Trump did his first live press conference there, I think
No, we
like
want to
Wednesday.
do Trump? Okay, let's do Trump, because I have a couple things to say about Trump.
When Trump did his press conference on Wednesday, I think.
The one we watched?
Yeah, like
where
ran.
he first
I ran
came
through
out
your
and
door.
talked about the coronavirus.
Yeah, I ran through your door at like 9 o'clock.
Yeah, pulling the Kramer from
fucking slid on your carpet,
Seinfeld.
like ate shit, and then you were like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Just shut up." Grabbed your remote, switched it over.
Yeah, this is a true story.
And you were all like, "What the fuck is this?" And I was like, "Listen to this fucking ape."
Yes, and it was Donald Trump. And I'm sure a lot of us saw it, where he was talking about the coronavirus and
he was
stay
the
strong.
teleprompter. He was reading.
Yeah, you could so tell he was reading a teleprompter, man. Like, there were parts in his speech where he'd be halfway through a sentence, he'd have to stop because you could tell he's waiting for the fucking telestrator to turn over so he can read his next line. It was like, I don't know, man. It just felt to me like it was so cold. Like, it was just, pretty robotic speech. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
It was a preset one. They just had to add the fucking name.
Now, you know about Trump dropping the missiles right this week?
He dropped missiles?
Look that up right now.
No fucking way.
Yeah, man, look
that up.
Was
it China?
No, look that up. Now, while he's looking that up, I'll give you basically the brief gist of it. It's kind of, I call it an aftershock from the whole missile crisis thing back in when? November or whenever January, whenever it was. I give Budman to, since he doesn't know, I want him to, I just want to see his reaction. I'm sorry, ladies and germs. Just give us a second here. I want to talk about it, but I want to see his reaction to it. It happened like 2 days ago, literally. 2 days ago. If that. Oh yeah, man, you didn't know? Oh yeah, buddy. This guy is something else, man. I want to talk about it, but I want you to...
It just comes up with everything from July.
Okay, well, here's the deal, basically. Okay, with Mr. Trump. First off, let's talk about, before... I'm getting ahead of myself, sorry. So Trump, right, basically, he has banned travel, to the UK or any European countries, basically, because of the coronavirus. Obviously, because it's a pandemic and it's a national emergency. So that was basically what we were talking about just a minute ago, right?
Yeah.
What we saw. And then, of course, he came on today, right? And he was, doing his fucking thing again, basically firing off about the fucking coronavirus again, which, whatever. I don't even know what else to say about that. Now, you remember back in January, right? When Trump decided, all that shit happened and they hit the fucking bases?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, to make a long
World War
story...
III almost
right.
started.
Well, to make a long story short, okay, the other day, a couple Americans died, okay, to make a long story short. So he decided that he was going to go and make a statement, Trump. So he bombed small little fucking weapons base of, the enemy, if you will. I don't think anybody was injured or anything. But this was basically him, right?
Throwing a little tantrum?
Maybe. Or trying to send a statement to those guys. Because he did say, though, in Trump's defense, he did say back in January, if you remember, that he said, man, if you were gonna fuck with us, I would fucking do something back. So I guess this is just something back. So that's all I know about it at this point.
Nice.
But I don't think, anything else has come of it since. So there you go. That's about Mr. Trump. But Trump, he's like every other leader right now. He's so fucking far into the coronavirus, dealing with that. Like, so is everybody. So, who knows what's going to actually come of this when everything settles down.
Yeah.
But for now, I caught that on the news the other day. And I was like, what in the fuck is going on? And of course it was Fox News, right? So I had to double check because it's fucking Fox News. But yeah, that's really all I know about it. But again, it just seemed to me like it was almost, you know what, I told you type deal. And
guess that's what happens, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, just because Corona is running rampant doesn't mean we're still not America type deal.
America.
I will get more facts as I can find them. Right now, all I can find on the internet is goddamn Corona.
My. Ow!
Okay, hold on a minute. Something ain't right.
What?
Be right back. Something ain't right.
So how are you today, listeners? That's good.
Sorry, I take a...
So, Captain Asshole is now taking a piss break. And we're still recording. Because that seems to be something that Captain Asshole does. Captain Asshole has returned from his piss.
You know what? Wherever you may be, let it flow free type deal. Sometimes you just gotta tinkle.
Does that include your shit? Like, wherever you may be. So, like, if you're in the middle of a concert.
Yeah.
And you really need to take a shit, but, like, you're smack dab middle of the dance floor kind of shit.
Right.
And you need to take a shit. Do you just go over to the corner of the light up dance floor, like, I imagine, like a disco dance club? Go over to the corner of the light up dance. Hope it's not the runs, and end up just shitting all over the corner of the fucking... And then it's the runs and the buildings on a slant.
It's the runs, alright.
So it runs down on the fucking light up floor that everybody's dancing on.
Damn, man.
What?
I just pictured that. That's funny as, pardon the pun, shit.
Everybody dancing and somebody slips.
Oh, that's pretty shitty. But don't, come on, you had to know that was coming. So,
it's all random thoughts.
Before I get into on the net and the ugliness of that, I just wanted to throw a shout out there that on Vice, Dark Side of the Ring Season 2 is coming out on the 24th of this month. And the first subject matter will be a 2-hour season premiere of the whole Chris Benoit shit show. So anybody that's interested, I just wanted to
I have
throw
no clue what the fuck you just said.
What, the Chris Benoit shit show?
Yeah.
Come on, man, you've heard of that.
Or this whole circle show.
Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah.
Were you not here the one day I was watching
that's the
that
fighting
on TV?
One.
Yeah.
I briefly came through.
Yeah.
Just dropping my shit off in your backyard.
Yeah, I think I was watching, I don't know what episode it was. I think it was the Bruiser Brody episode, wasn't it? Maybe.
Oh, everybody gets beaten or killed in the locker room.
Yeah, Bruiser Brody.
And they literally, like, gets pointed out and everything. The cops don't do anything.
Yeah, that show.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's coming back for season 2,
That's gonna
man.
be good.
So, I just wanted to get that out there, because that's an awesome fucking documentary. And it's a great segue into what I want to talk about next. So, this is all over. And I got a personal little story to tell on the journey that I've taken so far, doing my own personal research into this.
Tell.
Speaking of documentary, pause. So, I have been researching this new documentary that Corey Feldman just put out. He did finally get it out, but anyways, and it was called My Truth, the Rape of Two Corys. So it's basically about him and his best friend Corey Haim growing up in Hollywood as child actors and getting molested by certain people allegedly. As far as I know, nothing's been proven yet, but we'll also get to that in the end, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So, I looked into this because I have a dog in this fight, a personal dog in this fight. So it piqued my interest. I talked about it last week. I'm going to talk about it again here, just because. So, on Monday, that just passed, the documentary was supposed to come out. And it did, but there were technical issues. Some say sabotage, whatever. Point is partway through, the server basically crashed because this was all premiering all over the internet. He did finally get it out. Now, the main perpetrator here, allegedly, in this whole story is Charlie Sheen. The story goes that in 1986, on the set of Lucas, where Corey Haim and Charlie Sheen were doing, obviously they were in the same film. Lots of people have seen this movie, I'm sure. Somewhere along the way, during the filming of this, 19-year-old Charlie Sheen allegedly, let me make that clear, allegedly, basically raped Corey Haim in broad daylight on this movie set.
Jesus.
Now, Charlie Sheen has obviously come out and denied this. Like, no surprise. Who the fuck wouldn't, really, if you think about it?
100%.
Now, there's no real surprises in this movie. But, anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself again. So, after this happened, Tuesday morning, the following day, of course, me being me, I had to see if I could find this movie anywhere. Or at least clips of it. Because I really wanted to see, before we discuss this week on the show, I wanted to see this documentary. To make a long story short, this is where it gets sketchy. I'm not going to say what group chat I got on and who I was talking to and how I got my hands on what I did, but I got on a chat line. They were talking about it. And then I got talking to this one dude, and he said, look, man, I got a bootleg copy. I got to give it to you in a couple parts, right? Watch it, get rid of it. We never had this conversation type deal. And I was like, whatever, man. You know, people are paranoid about this subject matter and how this whole documentary and this whole situation has gone down. But I was like, cool, man, whatever. I just want to see the goddamn thing. So, after about 20 minutes or so, he sent me the first part. I literally went, grabbed a coffee, came back to it, deleted, gone. He sends me the second part. So I have seen half of this movie. I did get to see it. Here's the thing, though. Okay, that whole day, every time I started looking up stuff about this, some of it, you know, I could watch it over and over. Then there were other clips and stuff, and mostly by podcasters and people like that. They'd be there and then they'd be gone. Whether these people took them down themselves or somebody was fucking with the internet, I don't know. I can't say. I'm just saying it was pretty sketchy. And saying all that, though, the general gist is that Charlie Sheen was the main guy in this whole discussion. Here's where things go sideways. First off, okay, we're talking about somebody who is dead. Okay, Corey Haim has been dead for 10 years. So, when it comes right down to it, the only person that really knows is Charlie at this point. Now, the story goes that a year before Corey Haim died, he went to Corey Feldman and said, look, man, if something happens to me, I want you to tell my story. Now, whether this is true or not, I don't know. Whether Corey Feldman is just trying to bring attention to himself, I don't know
why you would bring that kind of attention to yourself.
But there's a bigger picture here, is what I'm getting at. Okay? But think about this. If it was your best friend, okay, and he said that to you, what are most people going to do? You're going to honor that promise if you're any kind of a human being at all. Right? So now, since he's done this, there are people like Marie Osmond, as an example, that has now come out and said to Corey Feldman, you have no business to tell his story because he's dead. He's not here, blah, blah, blah. First off, I disagree with her. If it is true, no, he needs to get this out.
Oh, yeah.
150%. There are other people in Hollywood that is slandering him, trying to really, give the gears to Corey Feldman right now. But I'm sure he was aware that that was going to happen.
Oh, yeah. You don't just release something like that.
Right. Now, here's the thing. You can have your own opinion on why he did it or how he did it and whatever. I will say this. What I believe is, this is my opinion, I do believe that he truly believes that what he's saying is the gospel truth. I'll be honest with you. I believe him. That's my personal opinion. And why do I believe him? Because let's go back, shall we? Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, we can go on. My point is that Hollywood has had a problem for a long time. And the worst part is it's been an open secret. And what I mean by an open secret, it's a secret, but somehow everybody knows about it, but nobody says shit.
It's because the people behind the secret everybody's scared of.
Right. Here's where I have a problem, which leads me to my next problem. But anyways, here's my first problem. Any fucking, how do I put this? Hollywood, okay, we'll use Hollywood as an entity in itself. Any entity, okay, and we've been all saying this about the Catholic Church for how long? Any entity that knows that there is sexual harassment going on, and not just with kids, but women. I mean, the whole Weinstein thing and everything, we've known for a long time, the whole Me Too movement, that, women have been getting sexually harassed in Hollywood forever. That is bad. I'm not taking from that. But then when you involve children, man, you've pretty much crossed an unforgivable line as far as I'm concerned. Now, in saying that, there are different players to blame here, obviously, which I'm getting to my next problem with this whole story. Obviously, first off, if it was any of my children and they were going into Hollywood to do movies, I would have myself or someone I trust with my kids all the fucking time.
Oh, 100%.
I don't care. All the time. I would not let my fucking kids run off with somebody because he's a fucking movie producer or an agent or whatever. I wouldn't put my trust in that. Come on. Use some common fucking sense. Which comes to the next part of my real problem, and here probably comes the hater. So here it fucking comes. Hater smash. Now you're probably asking yourself, well, what is the reaction of Corey Haim's mother to this documentary? First off, this is a woman. She says, right, oh, Charlie didn't do it. I thought this other person did it. Listen to what I'm saying, okay? Are you fucking kidding me?
I thought this other person did it?
Yeah. Are you fucking kidding me? Bitch. And I don't care, I will say it. You are a fucking bitch. Any fucking parent, okay, that would, so you knew this abuse was going on, even if people believe that it wasn't Charlie Sheen, you just named this other clown, who obviously is also a pedophile, and you said, no, I thought it was him.
Wow.
Wait a minute. As a parent, first off, let's break this down. First, in two different ways. One, as a parent, that would never come out of my mouth. And do you know why? Because, first off, I wouldn't put my kids in that position. And second off, if it did happen somehow, that'd be one dead motherfucker. Plain and simple. I can't put it any clearer than that. Okay, that's as a parent. As a human being and an observer of this shit, I'll say it now, I'll say it again, over and over. Children need to be protected.
Oh, 100%. They're small and helpless.
Any abuse Corey Haim took, she has to look in the mirror and go, you know what? You willingly put your son in that position. I don't care. You did. You put your 13-year-old son in a position where predators could have their way with him, fuck you. Fuck you. And I don't care anybody. I don't give a fuck who you are in life. Any piece of shit, and I do say piece of fucking shit, especially a fucking parent. You know what? If you know that your child, in any way, shape, or form, and I don't care by fucking who, whether it's Santa Claus, the fucking Tooth Fairy, your brother, your sister, your mother, your fucking cousin, fifth fucking time removed, I don't care. If you know that has happened, you know what? You need to burn in fucking hell. You need to burn in fucking hell. Because you're a shitty fucking parent and you're a piece of shit.
Yep.
I don't fucking care, man. You know what I'll do to you? I'll piss on you. Because that's what you fucking deserve.
Yes, I do. I piss on you.
Period.
Piss on you.
Yeah, R. Kelly. There's another offender. Anyways, that part of the story, I think, appalls me the most. Really. Like, you're a piece of shit. You're supposed to protect your kids. You fucking piece of shit. I don't know what else to say for that. And if Charlie Sheen did do it, wow. You're covering up for somebody that literally raped your 13-year-old son. You need a fucking bullet in your head.
Yep.
Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Wow. That... Anyways, here's where the good comes in. First off, as I said last week, kudos to Mr. Feldman for his Kids 2 movement. I think that's fantastic. And two, even if no arrests are made, it's out there. And people are aware that these fucking sick motherfuckers, allegedly, are predators. But here's the best, well, not the best part, but here may be the best part of this story at the end. I'm sure what Corey is hoping, and I'm hoping, I'm sure a lot of other people are hoping, if, you're a fucking decent human being at all, is that other victims start to come forward against these people, like the whole Harvey Weinstein thing and Bill Cosby thing, and then there'll be true justice. I'm not saying Charlie Sheen is guilty, but you can look up his past. I don't need to tell you.
Track record.
Yeah, he doesn't exactly look, he's not exactly in the best light in this situation, is all I'm saying. So, think of it that way. I suppose at the end of the day is, at least it's getting out there. But this is a problem, man, that goes way beyond Hollywood. It goes in everyday life, and it's something that we need to, as a society, man. This has to stop. It has to stop. I don't know what else to say. I mean, and it's not like these people, okay? Here's one more little thing about the subject matter, and I'm just going to let it go because I'm going to smash my microphone here in a minute because I'm starting to get red fucking hot about it. But I will say this, okay? There has to be some kind of, I don't know if you want to call it social awareness or just wake up as civilized, decent human beings. And these people, these predators need to be exposed. And I'll tell you something about these predators. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care. A psychiatrist could look at me and tell me this, and I'll tell them to go fuck themselves. These people, you cannot rehabilitate these people, man. It is a sick, twisted sickness of the mind. You cannot fix these people. I don't give a fuck. I don't care what anyone says to me, man. You cannot fix that. I don't care. You can't. And these people that say, you know what, Budman, these people that say, well, hey, do the time, do the crime. Do the crime, do the time, not with these people. There's not enough time.
There's not enough time.
There's not enough time. And all I'm going to say is parents that let it happen, they need to go to prison just as much as the fucking predator, as far as I'm concerned. You need to rot in fucking a cell. Really.
Rot in a cell with Big Bubba getting raped.
Yeah, see how you like it. I don't know. There's an eye for an eye. That's the one good thing. That's a good thing you brought up. At least with pedophiles, that's the good thing about prison. It's an eye for an eye. And bitch, I'm you're going to be a bitch. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing about prison. It's the great equalizer that way. Karma's a bitch in prison, I guess is what I'm getting at. It's a bitch. Literally. So, these are things, though, anyways, that are trending, are happening now, and are some hot topics. So, I'm pretty happy with how the beginning of the show has gone this week. We got lots of issues out there, and
lots and lots of issues.
Yeah, this has been good. So now that we've done in the news on the net and hockey talk, we might as well just go straight up to that's history and get on with this freaking show. There you go.